There's a movie, it's called Rendition, and I want to talk about this movie a little bit. I want to talk about torture in the United States as a mindset. One of the reasons this is important to the Aka story is that the United States government had special prisons in Thailand, and they were using rendition to move special prisoners to these places in Thailand, and who knows what was going on, but we know that those prisons were there. The other thing that makes that really bad is that the Thai government, the police and the army, and these paramilitary and sort of shadow police groups, they're already really pretty good at torture, and I think it's horrible that the United States is running its own torture shop, and it's an extremely bad example to these countries when we're already fighting these countries to stop torture and to respect human rights. And I buried Akas who had been severely tortured by the Thai police. If you've looked at somebody's body before you buried them, who have been tortured, burned with electricity, burned with cigarettes, bruises all over their body, scars all over their body. This one Aka in particular, he'd been tortured for a pretty long time. He had a lot of scarring, and when he was almost ready to die, the police sent him back to Chiang Rai and told his wife that he was back there, and then he died, and they said, oh, you can come pick up the body. And that's when the Akas called me, and I examined what had happened to him before he was buried. Unfortunately, I didn't have a camera with me because I was already way out in the villages, and when the Aka told me about the funeral and asked me to go look at what happened to him. But I think it's a disgrace that America has set up these special prisons, and I don't think Americans deserve any better treatment than what they allow or make happen to other people in the world. And if you think that your great government that is sneaking around in the world and moving prisoners without any due process and keeping them in places like Guantanamo, if you think your government isn't about ready to do that to you, you've got something new coming. And the whole issue of waterboarding, the people that signed for that said it's okay, I think that's equally horrible. It's a horrible statement about constitutional rights, civil and human right liberties. I don't think that you make the world a better place by doing things to people that rogue states, that imbecile governments do to their most defenseless. And I really think that Americans on every level should oppose that. The other thing I wanted to say is that there's been a number of studies about Christian mission websites and the lack of reference on Christian mission websites to human rights issues. To me, that's blatantly obvious in Thailand, where the missionaries don't talk about human rights at all. And if you're having a bad day, it's your fault. That's the pretty much the stance they have in Thailand. And also the really low discussion of things like torture in the churches. And there's this sort of attitude among Christians that if bad things happen to you, it's your own fault. But anyway, that was a commentary on Rendition. I think it's a pretty good movie, and I think that I know Akas that were tortured as bad or worse than this, and I think that it's a betrayal of everything that made America great when American presidents and advisors and politicians and the public go along with torture or secret prisons or prisons like Guantanamo where people can be held without due process.